All right. Hey, well, welcome there, POA students. This is Mr. Collins,
And Mr. Bostwick.
and we're going to talk to you about your mid-unit assessment.
Woohoo!
Yep.
All right, so we know that we have to use our four-stage problem-solving plan. Mr. Collins and I are just going to talk through the first couple of stages and maybe point out some important things in the problem as it's presented. We'll kind of talk a little bit about a plan, and then we'll execute it. So,
Yeah, there's a lot of tricky things in this problem. I think probably the trickiest thing is that you have to realize how many people are actually involved. We did see quite a few people on the test notice claim that there were 8 people that were going to this arcade of fun. When that's not the case at all. If you look really carefully, there are actually 9. Dion has 8 friends, but Dion is also going to go through this cavalcade. So the first thing I noticed that I want to mention in the understand step is there are 9 people.
So 8 friends plus Dion is the way I think about that. So that's one tricky thing. The next tricky thing is to try to make sure that you take account of all the different things that these people are going to do. So I think maybe we can kind of highlight the different ticket prices for the important things, because they're not going to do all of those things over on the right under activities and refreshments. So there are enough tickets so that each person can ride the go-karts once. I guess I'll circle. Maybe I won't. Here we go. And so we're going to need to know something about go-karts, and they're going to play video games. So we need to know something about video games. There's the 1 ticket thing there, and they're going to play laser tag twice. And so that's here for 6 tickets. And another strategy you might use, if you know the other stuff isn't useful, you might even get rid of that stuff on your test, so that you can just concentrate on what you need to know.
There's this is definitely a ton of distracting information. One thing I think one of the last things I want to throw in here is that I've kind of noticed that no matter what, it's always going to be cheaper to buy tickets using a book first, and then buy individual tickets to make up the difference. Like I don't know if we'll be able to buy books for everything. We should probably buy as many books as I can. And what I'm seeing is that I have an individual ticket for $1, but if I buy a book which has 24 tickets, it's $18. If I were to buy 24 tickets individually, that should be 24. So it's definitely cheaper to buy ticket books if I can.
I can't make an S.
Who needs an
There
S?
it is.
There it is.
There it is.
All right.
All right, so we kind of picked out all the important stuff. Of course, we know that the question that we're being asked is what was the cheapest way and what was the total cost. So it's important to notice that there's 2 things you have to answer there. Sometimes I think maybe we missed that there were 2 questions there. And so we got to have an answer that makes sense of both of those things at the end. So our plan is just to kind of dig in, add up the tickets, see how much it takes, and then see how many books we can get before we have to start buying individual tickets.
Yeah, it seems to me that maybe one of the best, and I don't know, Mr. Boswick, the way I'm kind of thinking about doing this is I need to figure out how much it's going to take one person to do all these things, and then I can multiply that by 9 and figure out total tickets, and from there, figure out how I'm going to buy those tickets. So it seems like we're definitely going to have to keep some kind of organization, some kind of organized list in these calculations.
Cool. So let's start just where you said. We need to figure out what one person's going to cost ticket-wise. So we need to think about the different things that person's going to do. So they're going to go on the go-karts once. So maybe we can write go-karts. Are they spelling carts with a K? Karts once.
C, definitely a C.
Some people do that. I don't know why. So go-karts ride was 4 tickets. I'm just making kind of an organized list of all the stuff that they need to pay for. So go-karts once. Video games, notice this 3 times. So video games was 1 ticket. I'm going to write times 3. And so that's 1 ticket. And here's a tricky thing, times 3, right? Because they have to do it 3 times. All right, and then last we have the laser tag game for 6 tickets, and they're going to play that twice. So I'm going to put laser tag times 2, because that's twice. And so that is 6 tickets times 2.
Okay, so if we're adding this all up, 6 tickets times 2 would be 12. And then 3 video games would be 3. And then the 4, so I'm looking at, 12 plus 3 plus 4. And if my addition serves me well, I hope that's 19. Is that what you got?
Yeah. And I'm going to make a couple of little notations here just to make sure I keep things straight in my head. So this was the laser tag LT, this is the video games, and then this was the go-karts
With a C.
with a C.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if it costs 19 tickets for one person, for 9 people, that should be times 9. And let me compute this really fast in my head. 19 times 9 is 171, which I lied. I use a calculator.
Which you could have done too.
Yep.
So 171 tickets total.
So that comes the fun part. We have to buy 171 tickets. We made kind of note in our understand step that we're going to try to buy books when necessary. So if we look at the books, we see that there are 24 tickets in a book. So the question I think I need to ask myself now, Mr. Boswick, is how many times does 24 go to 171? Like how many books can I actually buy? Or could I buy without going over?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways that I think you could do that. You could just count by 24s, couldn't you?
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there's an easier way. Because when you want to know how many times something goes into something else, that's just a division problem. So let's see, do we get a crazy number when we do that?
Well, let me grab Mr. Calculator here. 171 divided by 24 is 7.125. Which creates an issue. I don't think they're going to be okay with me ordering 7.125 books.
Yeah, and so this is almost where we can think about like that look back step. So you might be tempted to answer 7.125 books, but you have to ask, is that a reasonable answer? And it's really not because of this weird stuff here. Like, what does it mean to get 0.125 books?
So, and I have to kind of make a decision. 7.125 books do I need to buy? So I really have to make a choice. Am I going to buy 7 books or 8 books?
7 books or 8 books. And so if you bought 7 books, you would get, that would be times, let's just check the price here, 18.
And I get $126 for that.
126 bucks. And then we'd still have to buy some tickets, which that's 7 books times $18. And so we need to figure out 7 books times how many tickets in a book? 24?
24, yeah.
Yeah.
24.
So 7 books times 24 tickets is
168.
168 tickets. Is it going to expand my page on that?
Let's find out.
All right, we
Okay.
will. All right, so then if we bought 8 books, and we're using kind of a guess and check method right here. So 8 books times $18 is
144.
144 bucks. And that would give us 8 books times 24 tickets,
192.
192 tickets. And so it's clear which one is cheaper, but something that I notice about our 7 books is that it doesn't actually give us enough tickets, and something about 8 books is it gives us way too many.
Right. So if we bought 8, we definitely have enough tickets for everyone to do everything, and maybe we can get some nachos at the end. But since Dion's paying, I think he wants to pay as little as possible. But I think, Mr. Bots, we go back to the problem. There's a way out. Like you're right. 168 was not enough tickets, but they do give us the option to buy individual tickets.
There it is right there.
So if we need 171, but we have 168, I think that's 3, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
So it seems to me if I bought 7 books, I get 168 tickets, and just added 3 individual tickets afterwards, I'd still be much cheaper than the 144 option for 192 tickets.
And so that would give you a total of 126 plus $3.
Wait, how'd you get to 126?
$126 for 7 books,
Ah,
and then it was $1 per ticket. Yeah.
yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. So 126 plus $3 gives you a total of $129 for exactly 171 tickets, and that is clearly cheaper. We're doing a combination of books and individual tickets than buying 8 books altogether and getting 192 tickets.
And it would definitely be cheaper than buying only individual tickets because that would cost 171 for individual tickets.
Cool.
So it seems to me if we buy 7 books and 3 individuals, we get 129 total, and we're covered. And Dion's a happy camper. I think he's a nice friend anyway. I don't know if I'd drop $129 for my friends to go to a carnival.
I definitely would not. I don't think I have $171 to do that.
129
129.
or 171.
Yeah,
I don't have
neither-
either. So
Yeah, either one.
Okay.
Is the cheapest.
So looking back, we've done a couple different ways. I want to make a couple observations here that might be useful. I'm confident 129 is a good answer for the reason we just spoke about, is because if we just bought straight individual tickets, it would cost $171. So 129 is definitely less than that. So I know at least I'm in the ballpark. I'm in the right direction anyway.
Yeah, and I think something that I learned looking back, thinking of this problem, is that we had to read really carefully to try to get through all the tricky stuff. So that understanding part of the problem is really important for this one, because there's nothing really complex going on here or really complicated mathematically, but there's just a lot of little steps that you have to do, and it was important to stay organized to be able to get through all those.
Yeah, definitely. There's one thing if we notice about the video assessments we saw, is the organization was lacking. Like there was a lot of great mathematics there, but it wasn't any form that you could follow really well. You should never make the person grading your test search for an answer. I think we said that in class. So you can see Mr. Box was doing all the writing here. You can see how his work is pretty easy to follow. You can see arrows going from one idea to the next, and even did some highlighting, which I know if you don't have a highlight you can't do that, but underlining it, bracketing it, saying, "Hey, look here next."
Mm-hmm.
Like those are all good strategies you guys can use to keep your work very organized. So even though we're doing a lot of thinking as we're writing, it's in a way that you can actually follow pretty well. So
Yeah, so this might be an example of messy mathematics that's also readable mathematics.
and also I like how Mr. Bosco at the end highlighted the answer. So even after all that was said and done, there's a rewrite and then a highlight or a circle or a squaring. So the grader knows, hey, look, this is where to look.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That's what I got, Mr. Bosco. How you doing?
I'm good.
Okay.
Thanks for watching.
Yep. See you guys tomorrow.
Or
Wednesday.
right now. We're actually in front of you right now.
Hey.
Look at Mr. Bosford. He's making a face.